Hey everybody, I'm just going to make a quick video on puppy food for your new Mastiff. Everybody's going to be getting a set of these bowls, 2 of them with your pup when you come to pick them up. So here's the ingredients you're going to need. This is Purina Puppy Chow. They make 2 different flavors. They got beef and rice and chicken and rice. Either one will work. And then the second one is some yogurt. We've been using a different type of yogurt, but they've been sold out of it. The main thing you want to do is use a plain yogurt that's not flavored. If you can't find that, then you can use vanilla. But one of the main things here is you want whole yogurt. You don't want low fat or non-fat, and you don't want Greek yogurt that's like thick like sour cream. So we're using this in the meantime. The other one we were using was one called Mountain High, and that was a whole milk plain yogurt. These other 2 things are optional. This is Caro syrup. This was something that was in their bottle feed formula in addition to the yogurt. This has got some carbs in it, some sugar, so if you feel like your pup's a little lethargic or something, you can throw a little of this in. But at the same time, if you overdo it on this, they might be bouncing off the walls. Another thing that's optional here is this is baby vitamins. Comes with a dropper. Now, they make other versions of this. This is very important. Don't get the one that has iron in it. This is the only one you want to get. If you give an incorrect vitamin, amount, especially on the iron, too much iron will give them the runs. So this one is the regular one you want to use. There's different ways to mash it. This is what I found to work the best. This is like a mashed potato masher. So the other thing is, this is vital. You want to soak this food. So these were maybe a little less than halfway full, and we filled it up with water, not all the way to the top, but you want to get the water above the the kibble, and you want to soak it for about 30 minutes or so. It's got to be a minimum of 30 minutes, but you have to also, once it initially sucks up some of the water, if you look right here like that one is not soaked all the way through, but it's close to it. You have to add a little more water, and we use warm water. It happens a little quicker. You don't want to use cold water. Your puppy is going to like food that's closest to its body temperature. So the other thing that I use, and there's different ways to do this, but I've got a little, like a teapot, coffee pot on demand here. I'll heat that up, and then I'm going to use this sparingly to adjust my viscosity of my food. So you just kind of take the masher here, and don't go too crazy because you'll end up squirting it everywhere. But I'm just going to show you the consistency that you want to end up with once you're done. Now, the puppies are 5 weeks right now, and when you get your puppy, they're going to be over 7 weeks old. So they can handle pieces a little bit bigger, but you want to make sure for the most part that you're getting most of the pieces mushed down so that they are very easy to swallow, not going to get stuck in their throat, stuff like that. You can also see here when you soak it, cover it with something, paper plate or something. That's going to keep any insects out or whatever, because you're going to be leaving it out for a while. The other thing is kind of important too. You're going to want to feed your pup every 5 to 6 hours or so until they're about maybe 4 months old, at least 3.5 months, I'd say. So don't leave this out. You can leave it out for a little while, but it's got dairy in it. You're going to want to put it in the fridge, and then when you pull it back out, because it's going to be cold, it'll also shrink up a little bit. So then you go ahead and heat some water up, throw that back in. So here you can see the thickness, how much we mushed it down. Then we're going to throw a little bit of yogurt in there. show you. This is way too much food for one puppy that I'm making, but we're feeding 7 of them right now, so that's about how much yogurt you would want to have to mix in here. And don't overdo it on the yogurt. They can handle a lot of yogurt, but it'll just get real soupy, and might give them the runs a little bit too, because now that they're on solid food, you're going to want to give them more of the food. So just a few scoops of it. And then the Caro syrup. They make 2 colors of this, by the way. There's a clear one and then a dark. We just use the dark. But this stuff's messy. It's like molasses viscosity. So you're just going to put in, you know, just kind of go easy. Not a crazy amount, just a little extra carbs for them. And then you've got the baby vitamin. Comes in a dropper. I put 1 full dropper in there per bowl. So even though there's no way your pup is going to eat all of this in one sitting, at least not for a couple months, you can make this amount. You might as well, so that way you're not making it every time, and you just add a little bit of hot water to it. And you know, this amount would probably feed 1 pup maybe 3 times. I'd say 4 tops. And you only want to reheat it so many times. So probably what you want to do is, after the first time that you make it and you refrigerate it, just scoop out what you need out of the fridge into a new bowl, so that you're not doing, you know, hot, cold a bunch of times. Sometimes that can make the food do funny things and coagulate and stuff like that. So here's this is set for coffee for 212, but you know, you get it up past 150 degrees. And we're just gonna throw some in there. And then we're gonna stir it up. Get that yogurt stirred in. That looks pretty good right there, about the viscosity that you want. It's not too runny, but it's also not too dry. If you give it to them too dry, they can't get it down. They'll choke. Very important to watch your puppy eat start to finish. What they'll do is, if they inhale it too much, eat too much, they'll put their head down in between their front legs and start to kind of jiggle a little bit. You see that happening, you got to grab them, pick them up, whap them on the back a couple times, let it clear the windpipe. And so just keep an eye on them. The other thing is, usually right when you feed them, time to go to the bathroom right after. So hopefully you can get all these things at your local place. I would say the most important things are obviously the kibble and the yogurt. The other 2 things are optional. You don't need to do the vitamins every time. Just kind of monitor their stool, make sure that it's not super runny, and you know, make sure they're not constipated. If they're constipated, then chances are they're also dehydrated. So take another bowl usually after they're done their feed, and then they're gonna you know, go to the bathroom and whatnot. Take another bowl, put some water in there, and get them to wash everything down, because they're gonna want to fall asleep right after you finish feeding them, and you don't want them to fall asleep with extra food in their mouth, because that could be problematic. So good luck, guys. Have fun. They're going to be eating a lot. You're going to be mixing this a lot. So I do this for the next at least a month and a half. You don't want to switch over to crunchy stuff until they're really ready for it. And when they do switch over to crunchy stuff, you got to monitor how much water they're going to drink, because you don't want them to get bloat. That's why we're soaking the food here first, so that it's already at its maximum size, and that they're not eating something that's going to grow once it's in their stomach, because they're already going to eat until their stomachs look like they're going to burst. If you give them too much dry food and then give them water after, that's going to expand, and you're going to have a severely constipated, unhappy puppy. All right, good luck.